The cruelest king of Assyria, how Ashurbanipal slaughtered his way to immortality. The rise of the Assyrian war machine, 900 to 600 BC. What kind of man reads ancient flood myths in 5 dead languages, while dining beside the severed head of a rival king? What drives a ruler to devastate temples, chain defeated monarchs by the jaw, and then retreat to a library of 30,000 tablets like nothing ever happened? This isn't just history, it's the violent opera of Ashurbanipal, the last great emperor of Assyria. From royal birth to battlefield carnage, from scholarly obsession to genocidal campaigns, his story isn't just brutal, it's bizarre, brilliant, and unforgettable. How did Assyria rise to dominate the ancient world? Why did brother turn against brother in a fiery civil war? What made Ashurbanipal the cruelest of kings and the most literate of tyrants? And how did his obsession with knowledge ultimately outlive his empire? Step inside the war machine that made empires tremble. Meet the scholar/slayer who sowed salt in cities and wisdom in clay. This is Ashurbanipal, and the kingdom he carved in blood and preserved in stone. Subscribe now, turn on notifications, and follow the full arc, from Egypt's rebellion to Susa's ruin, from lion hunts to literary legends. Because once this story begins, you won't want to miss a single scream or syllable. The Neo-Assyrian Empire didn't just show up, it steamrolled into history like a chariot on steroids. From 900 BC onward, Assyria evolved from a regional power into a military juggernaut, thanks to iron weapons and siege engines that made city walls feel like papier-mâché, a professional army with terrifying cavalry and archers, ruthless kings who believed mercy was for the weak. By the mid-7th century BC, Assyria ruled from Cyprus to Iran and from Egypt to Anatolia, the largest empire the world had ever seen. Born in 685 BC in Nineveh, Ashurbanipal's name meant Ashur has made another son, and boy did Ashur make a son with flair. He was the 4th son of King Esarhaddon, but thanks to a royal game of thrones, he leapfrogged his older brothers to become heir. Great-grandfather, Sargon II, who snatched the throne in 722 BC. Grandfather, Sennacherib, infamous for sacking Babylon. Father, Esarhaddon, who conquered Egypt in 671 BC and became the first ruler to control both Mesopotamia and Egypt. Ashurbanipal wasn't just trained in warfare, he was a bookworm with a battle axe. Fluent in Akkadian and Sumerian, trained in divination, literature, and espionage, served as spymaster for his father, compiling intelligence reports like a Mesopotamian James Bond. Esarhaddon, despite his military genius, suffered from a mysterious skin disease, described as causing vomiting, fever, nosebleeds, and depression. He died in 669 BC en route to Egypt, leaving Ashurbanipal to inherit the throne and a rebellion. Ashurbanipal's first act as king? Crush Egypt like a stale biscuit. He marched south, defeated the rebels, and sacked Thebes so thoroughly that its destruction was immortalized in the Hebrew Bible. By 665 BC, Egypt was back under Assyrian control. He installed Psamtik-Furs, a captured Egyptian prince, as a puppet pharaoh, re-educated in Nineveh to serve Assyrian interests for. While Ashurbanipal was busy lion-taming in Egypt, King Urtak of Elam thought it was a good time to invade Babylonia. Bad idea. The invasion was repelled easily, and Urtak died mysteriously soon after. Meanwhile, Ashurbanipal's brother Shamash-Shum-Ukin, king of Babylon, was plotting behind the scenes, sending secret aid to Elam to destabilize Assyria. In 653 BC, Ashurbanipal launched a scorched earth campaign against Elam. At the Battle of Ulai near Susa, he unleashed hell. I dammed up the Ulai River with the bodies of the warriors. For 3 days I made that stream flow full of bodies instead of water. I cut off the head of Tumen, their king. Their blood I let run down the land. Its water I dyed red like wool. And just to drive the point home, he hung Tumen's severed head from a tree while dining with his queen. Bon appetit. Ashurbanipal wasn't just a conqueror, he was a showman. His palace reliefs depict him hunting lions, a royal tradition symbolizing the king's power to protect his people, his ability to tame chaos and dominate nature. In 648 BC, Shamash-Shum-Ukin, king of Babylon and elder brother to Ashurbanipal, decided he'd had enough of playing second fiddle. Despite building a coalition of Elamites, Chaldeans, Arameans, and even Arabian camel cavalry, yes, really, his rebellion fizzled like a wet matchstick. Ashurbanipal, not one for half measures, laid siege to Babylon for 3 brutal years. The city fell in a blaze of horror. According to Assyrian records, Shamash Shamavukin either set himself and his family ablaze to avoid capture or was roasted alive by Assyrian troops. Either way, it was a barbecue no one wanted an invite to. Ashurbanipal's victory speech? Oh, it was poetry dipped in blood. I slit their tongues, fed their dismembered bodies to dogs, swine, wolves, and eagles. Not one sinner slipped through my hands. Subtlety was not his strong suit. With Babylon smoldering, Ashurbanipal turned his wrath toward Elam, the kingdom that dared support his brother. In 647 BC, he marched on Susa, Elam's sacred capital, and unleashed a destruction so thorough it made the gods homeless. He smashed temples, scattered divine statues, dug up royal tombs, and sowed salt into the land so nothing would grow again. He even dragged the bones of Elamite kings back to Assyria like grotesque souvenirs. And the cherry on top? The defeated king Humban-Haltash was forced to serve food at Ashurbanipal's royal banquet, possibly with a chain through his jaw. Talk about dinner with humiliation. After 25 years of non-stop warfare, Ashurbanipal finally found peace. Not in treaties, but in tablets. He built the Royal Library of Ashurbanipal in Nineveh, a literary fortress housing over 30,000 clay tablets. His obsession? Knowledge. He wanted every text ever written, from omens and medical scrolls to epic poetry. He bragged, I studied the secret lore, read stones inscribed before the flood, solve divisions and multiplications which do not have a solution. Basically, he was the ancient world's answer to Sherlock Holmes, Einstein, and Indiana Jones rolled into one. In 612 BC, Nineveh fell to a coalition of Babylonians, Medes, Persians, and Scythians. The palace burned, but the fire baked the clay tablets, preserving them for millennia. In 1849, British archaeologist Austen Henry Layard unearthed the library, revealing treasures like the Epic of Gilgamesh, which included a flood story older than Noah's. H.G. Wells later called it the most precious source of historical material in the world. Ashurbanipal died in 631 BC, aged 44. His sons squabbled over the throne, weakening the empire. In 626 BC, Nabopolassar seized Babylon and founded the Neo-Babylonian Empire. By 609 BC, after the siege of Haran, the Neo-Assyrian Empire was no more. Ashurbanipal's son, Ashurbanipal, vanished from history, like a ghost swallowed by the sands. Coming up next, the rise of Sparta, where strength was forged in silence. Before Rome echoed with legions and Athens dazzled with philosophy, there was Sparta, a land without walls, where warriors were trained not just to fight, but to feel no fear. How did a small city-state tucked between mountains and myth become a symbol of unbreakable discipline? What drove parents to give up their children for brutal training at age 7? And why did Sparta choose simplicity over gold, silence over speeches, and honor over life itself? In this next episode, we peel back the bronze-plated legend to reveal the blood, grit, and ideology that made Sparta rise from obscurity to immortality. It's more than history. It's a journey into the heart of courage, where every heartbeat echoed with war drums. Subscribe now, turn on notifications, and be the first to witness how Sparta became more than a city. It became a mindset. The kind that defied empires, bent arrows, and left behind a legacy that still stirs the soul. Are you ready to enter the Agoge? Because the rise is just beginning.